Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and today I'd like to share with you a try on of the Maybelline Gigi Jetsetter Palette. So I shared with you on Instagram a picture of this, and also I asked you to give me a thumbs up, and yeah, I really got a lot of likes and I got a number of thumbs up, so I thought it would be really interesting to film this. Now, I've seen some really negative and positive YouTube videos. To be honest, I wasn't actually going to purchase it. But I decided to go for it because there was a 3 for 2 offer in Superdrug. There was also a 3 for 2 offer in Boots as well. And Boots, I really like. I mean, I love Superdrug and I love Boots. And the reason I love Boots so much is because you can actually go onto their website and check that the stock is available in a particular store. So again, if you saw my Instagram yesterday, you would have seen that I went to Lakeside, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive from me in Norfolk. So I decided to go there and I wanted to actually go to Primark. I checked the stock for the Gigi Jetsetter palette and it said that they had stock. So I was really excited. I thought I could pick up both, so I could go to Primark and also go into Boots as well and have a look at the palette. I wasn't going to purchase it. It was just a case of, you know, if I wanted to, it would be there, but I really wanted to swatch it and, you know, check it out for myself basically. So I went into Boots and saw that there was one left, which is the one that I picked up, and they also had one that you could test, so I was really pleased with that. I was able to swatch all of the shades and I felt that the swatches were you know, really helpful for me to decide that actually I did want to pick it up. So I then got all the way home and I'm not going to make this mistake again, and I checked the palette when I got home and every single shade in that palette had been swatched. Now, when you receive this, and I'm going to say this, mention this first of all before I share with you around the palette or anything. Now, when you get this palette, so you have a sleeve. So it just slides off like that. So we've all seen this holographic sleeve here with the Maybelline Gigi Hadid, her initials there. Then on the back you've got all of the ingredients, and it also gives you an indication of what's inside this palette as well. And then on the inside of that you have this beautiful, and I really love this packaging. I don't know why makeup brands are only now giving us these beautiful colours in packaging. I really love it. Again, the outside is mirrored on the inside, but it's the other way around. So you're getting the holographic on the actual writing, and then you're getting this nude colour here. And then Jetsetter is represented with this aeroplane there. And then on the back, exactly the same. You're getting an indication of what's inside, the ingredients and so forth, so that's all mirrored. Now, if you go into a store and you see this, there will be some tape here. So the tape is there, and when I went into the Lakeside Boots store, there was actually tape here and here. Now, because there was nothing else for me to, you know, to look at, there was not another palette. If there had been another one palette that had the tape on, I would have been able to see that that had been tampered with. So basically what had happened was that the store had sellotaped both sides down, so that they knew that it had been tampered with, but they decided to tape it down and for me to come along, and obviously not me specifically, but I was the customer that came along and purchased it, knowing that that had all been tampered with, every single shade. So when I got home, I then, basically it was a 2 hour drive, and when I got home I was so disappointed because initially I wasn't actually going to purchase it, and then I decided to because I liked the swatches. And then my husband knew I was disappointed. I called up the store. He said that he would take me to Norwich. We checked the stock. I also called up and a lovely gentleman said, no problem at all, we've got stock, I'll pop one aside, and we went up to Norwich. It was really, really easy. They swapped it, no problem at all. So I now have a pristine palette. So I just wanted to make you aware of that because the tape should be there. So if you see that it's been tampered with, you know, either you know, check with a member of store. What I actually did was I purchased this one and then checked it actually in front of the cashier and said, look, you know, I don't want this to happen again. It is a journey for my husband and I to go to Norwich. I do live you know, near Norwich, but it is still, you know, a little bit of a journey. So I wanted to mention that because I want to avoid anyone else having the disappointment of having something that's tampered with. I'm aware that it happens in Superdrug. It has happened a lot to me, to be honest. And Superdrug staff have, you know, they've even spoken to me about it, saying that they try their best, but, you know, they can't do much about it. In fact, when I go to Norwich, obviously I go there a lot, my daughter lives there, I visit a lot and I really like the shops. And I'll just mention this really quickly, is that when I go to Superdrug, it's predominantly to go to the Makeup Revolution counter, and I must say, or the stand, and the stand in there, especially that freestanding stand that they've now got there, is terrible. There is powder everywhere, palettes have been tampered with. It is really, really quite bad. And to be honest, I don't feel like I want to purchase from stores anymore because of that tampering issue. But anyway, getting back to this, I just wanted to give you a backstory because it's so annoying. Anyway, the palette itself, when you open it up, so obviously I shared with you how the palette looks on the outside. It is quite a thick palette actually, but you'll see in a minute why. Now these are, I believe, £29.99. Obviously I picked it up from Boots, but you can now pick it up from obviously online at Boots, and you can also pick it up from online at Superdrug. Now I have looked at the stall in Superdrug and or the stand in Superdrug, and I didn't see this. They have got everything else, but I didn't see this. Now when you open it up, you've got a mirror, so you've got a large mirror. Now the only thing I'm a little bit disappointed about with the mirror is that there's no plastic over the top, and I do feel that I don't know, there's no plastic for me to peel off there. There's no you know, plastic covering, and I know that I mention it all the time to say, you know, sometimes they do damage it, but I just feel that the palette, when you open it up, is just missing a little bit of care and attention. And in fact, actually, that's another reason how I knew that this palette had been tampered with, because someone had actually held it like that. Not this one, the one that I returned, and I could see all finger marks on the mirror. So, you know, there's no plastic to peel off, and I do feel that there's a little bit, you know, there's no care and attention gone into this palette, and basically you are paying £29.99, so you're paying £30 bar a penny. I think it's £29.99 or either 29. Anyway, whatever it is very close to £30. And I think that, you know, the outside is amazing. I really think that care and attention has gone into the outside. I love the packaging itself. I love that. But on the inside, there's no plastic covering that. There's no plastic covering the mirror, and I think if you're going to put the price up as much as what it has been put up to, you know, care and attention has to be put into the actual you know, products basically. So you can see that on this side you have got 4 small pans. So you've got a light concealer, a darker concealer. These are lip products, and I don't know if they're more glossy or whether they are a lipstick formulation. I will be sharing that with you in a moment. And you get more of a peach shade and more of a pink shade. Now, one thing I really dislike, and again, I'm going to refer back to Makeup Revolution. Makeup Revolution has a lipstick palette. It was £5 in the sale. It's usually £10. It's a large palette, but that is the only lipstick palette that I've come across you know, that's reasonable. Obviously Urban Decay does it, but that's, you know, a little bit more expensive. But it's the first drugstore lip palette that I've come across where you've got actually lip product in there rather than that, and it seems more like a children's makeup where, you know, these drugstore brands sell you a lipstick palette, but actually it's not, it's more like a lip gloss, and I really don't like that. So I'm hoping that this is going to give me some payoff, colour payoff. You then get two brushes, so you get more of like a double-ended eyeshadow brush there. You get a face brush or a cheek brush there as well, and then you get here in this column you get eyeshadow shades. So you've got a black, a brown, you've got like a mauvey neutral shade, and then you have a shimmery champagne colour. This is a mascara here, and then you have got three face shades or cheek shades here. So you've got a highlighter, you've got a bronzer, and then you've got a blush. The only problem that I think I might have with this is, and I wish that what they'd done is that they'd done it the other way around. So perhaps the contour or the blush, perhaps the contour actually, because I do use more of that, would be in the larger pan. The blush, which we don't really use too much of the blush, but because we don't want it too heavy obviously, but that would be better in the medium, and then the highlight at the top, just because I use a lot less highlight, and also I want to get my brush in there. It's okay if you're using this, which is a very thin brush and flat brush, but if you're using your own brush it may be a little bit tricky. Now what I'm going to do is swatch the, I've shared with you what it looks like inside. I'm now going to swatch it and then I'll do a try on. So what I'm going to say is that this is probably going to be a little bit of a lengthy video. If you're aware of my videos, I don't edit. So if you don't like a long video, you obviously can, you know, go across to each point that you want to see, obviously, but if you want to see it in its entirety, it won't be edited. So I'm really excited about this. I'm sharing with you the swatches. So what I'm going to do is just swatch them as I spoke to you or showed you the shades. So I'm going down the first column first of all, which is the lightest concealer. So there it is there. It's going to be tricky for you to see. Now I've actually put on my base, but I've kept under my eyes bare, and I've put my brows on because I'm going to use this product to see how it actually works under my eyes. And now I'm just going to swatch the deeper shade. So it's like that there. Another thing is I'm finding as I'm swatching it, it's actually messing up the palette a little bit, which is annoying. So I'm going to have to try and be very careful. Now, unfortunately, and I'm going to just share with you one swatch, these lip, I don't know if they're lipsticks, lip gloss or lip balms, but that is the peach shade and that's one swatch. It is very, very sheer. Let's see what this one looks like. Obviously, you probably can build it up a little bit, but I'm doing the one swirl and swatch because it's only, you know, fair to share with you the correct, you know, it's how I would swatch things. Unless, you know, it's like if I'm doing a really light eyeshadow, I will double that up just to see if I can get a little bit of a better pigment. But I wanted to share with you, you know, how these swatch basically. So that's the first column. Now we're going down the next column, which is the eyeshadow. So I'm starting off with the shimmery champagne colour. Now that's quite pretty. To be honest, I don't buy a lot of drugstore makeup. The only brand that I really I'm going to double that up because I swatched that so badly. The only brand that I really purchase from is Makeup Revolution. I really like that colour. It's like a dusty rose, so that's beautiful. Yeah, I only really purchase from Makeup Revolution, so this is going to be actually quite interesting. I haven't bought any eyeshadow from a drugstore for a while. So yeah, I'm really intrigued. I mean, like I say, I've heard a lot about this range, so I think it's going to be very, very interesting, and I always like to find things out myself. Now those eyeshadows have swatched very, very well, so I'm liking the look of those. Now I'm moving on to the blush. Now I really liked the colour of this in the store. Now it is quite powdery, but I'm just doing swatches so that you can see the colours, because I found that when I blended the blush out, it actually worked very, very nicely. So there's the actual bronzer. And now for the beautiful highlight shade. That is stunning. It's like a peachy pink. It's very, very beautiful. Absolutely stunning. So there are all of the swatches for you to give an indication of what they actually swatch like. I'm just going to carefully get the brush out. Now I'm not going to use these. I just want to actually share with you what they are like, because obviously I want to use my own brushes. So that's more of a flat brush, and that's more of a, you know, a blending brush, I would say. I mean, to be honest, I have gone away and forgot my makeup once, and was devastated when I opened my bag, my travel bag, and realised I'd packed everything else but my makeup. And if I only had these to put my makeup on with, I would be very, very happy, because that time I think I had to go and buy the cheapest brushes that I could just for that evening, because my husband and I were going out for a meal. So these would have done very, very well, but on a day-to-day basis, and I will be using this on a day-to-day basis, this brush is not really going to work for me, just because I really like a more blended look. So now what I'm going to do is now start applying the product. I'm just going to roll my sleeve up again. I'm worried about that black going on my jumper. So I'm just going to get my brush, and it is just a Wilko brush. I've used it this morning just to carve around my brow. There is no more product on there. It just looks a little bit dirty because I've used it, like I say, to carve my brow out. But this is the brush that I always use. And this will give me a good indication of, you know, how this is going to apply. So I'm just going to pop it underneath the eye, and I think that if I was to use these brushes or another brush, I'm not going to get a true representation of how this is going to work for me. So I'm using my brushes. So far that has actually worked very, very well. Now it's brightened underneath the eye. Now I always put the concealer on underneath my foundation, so I think that's all I need. Now I'm just going into my makeup bag. Now this makeup bag is from Primark, and it's this one here. I think these are £4 and I absolutely love it. It's like a pink furry teddy bear face, and I keep my day-to-day makeup in there, you know, like my foundation. The foundation I'm using is, as always, the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Foundation in, I should know it, Natural Rose, and I'm just going to pop a little bit underneath my eyes. And this is how I always do my makeup. It's how, well, it works for me with the combination of concealer. And now I always usually use the Freedom Makeup London Pro Camouflage Paste in CF02, and that works really well for me. But I've nearly actually used it all up, and I was panicking because I should have added it to my trolley when I placed my last order, and I didn't. So if this works, then I'm going to be very, very pleased. Because like I say, I don't, other than Makeup Revolution, or Tan Beauty products, you know, I Heart Makeup, Freedom. I really very rarely use their products. Now, I'm just getting, where is my brush? I'm getting my contour brush from Real Techniques, and I'm also getting my Makeup Revolution Pro HD Powder Contour. Now this is the second palette. Now I do like these two shades for contour and bronzer, but I've been using my Renaissance Glow palette. Now I'm just going to matte under the eye, now with the banana shade, obviously. Now I do find that if you miss out this step, and if like me you've got you know, obviously a little bit of puffiness under the eye, I've always had it ever since I was a child, it's not an age thing particularly, it just runs in the family. If I don't do this, because there's a little bit of a sheen there, it will really highlight that. So if I put powder on it, it mattifies it basically and makes it look better. Probably a little bit more puffy than usual, just because it was quite a busy day yesterday with Lakeside and Norwich all in one day. So I've done my usual step of adding the powder. Now what I'm going to do is add, and this is how I always do my makeup, so I'll be able to judge the, you know, how it applies. And I'm using my NYX fan brush, and I'm going to contour my face. Actually, it's not too bad getting into that product. It's not too bad at all, because obviously this is a thinner brush, but this has got to be, if it's going to make me want to wear it, it's got to be a good product, because my Renaissance Glow highlighter, I absolutely love it. It's got a little bit of pinkiness to it, but this actually is working very, very well. Now I usually have my hair out of the way, and I've got blush on there now. Let me just try that again. I usually have my hair out of the way, but obviously I should be okay. So that's not too bad. I think there's a little bit of blush mixed in, because you can't, let me just put it on the edge of this and see if I can get a better, yeah, that's better. I don't know if it's because I'm so used to the Renaissance Glow, or if it's because there's a little bit of blush mixed in, but it does seem a little bit like an orange, whereas I'm more used to a neutrally pink shade. Let's have a look. It's not too bad. I mean, it's blending very, very nicely, so not too bad at all. Now I do like my bronzer, contour, whatever you want to call it, very, very blended. That is how I like all my makeup to be, just very blended. Yeah, that's worked. And it's not too bad of a colour either. That's very, very pretty. I like that. Now I'm changing to the brush. Now this is going to be a little bit difficult. The blush brush that I always use is the Wilko blush brush. I like this. This is what works for me. I do swap from the Real Techniques blush brush to this one, but at the moment I'm using this one. Now this is where it's going to get tricky, because the blush shade is obviously the smallest, where the highlighter and the highlighter brush and, you know, generally highlighting brushes that we use are thinner. So it would have been better if the pans were the other way round. But I'm going to try my best and get the blush onto. It's quite pigmented, as you can see. I'm just going to tap a little bit of that off. But like I say, in the store when I swatched this palette, it did seem very, very blendable. And it is a very, very nice colour. A colour that would, I mean, it's been well chosen because it's one of those colours that will suit a lot of people. I really like that. It's given me a healthy glow. The glow looks very, very, well, it looks very healthy. And it blends out very, very nice. Love it. I absolutely love that colour. And I'm just going back to my foundation brush that I used today, and I'm just going to go around the edges because, as you all know, if you're regular viewers, I really like my blush to be blended. So that's that. Now for the highlight, which is the it's definitely going to be the highlight of the cheek area, because I can see that from the swatches that this highlight is a beautiful colour. So I'm using, as always, my Morphe M501 brush, and I've added the product there. It does seem quite powdery again, and I'm just going to pop it on this side first of all, see how it works. You're not going to get a great representation of it this side because I always do this side first. Now it's a very, very pretty colour. I absolutely love it. I knew it was going to be good just by the colour of it, and it's a, you know, a highlight that I really enjoy, these pinky peachy tones, and you can see there it really is a stunning colour. That is gorgeous. I really like the naturalness of it. You've got that beautiful highlight. It also seems to sink into the skin or blend into the skin, which is what I like. I like a well blended highlight. I like it to look natural, but I think you can also build it up as well. So really, really enjoy that. Now I'm moving on to the eyes. So I'm going to be using my trusty Primark brush, which is contoured, and I'm going to go in with the second colour, which is like a dusky rosy mauve colour. And now it does seem quite powdery, but I usually find that powdery eye products work really well because they blend extremely well. And I've already primed my eyes, and I've added a matte eyeshadow base as well, because I really wanted, you know, I want to just show off this eye look. Now it's a very, very nice colour. I love that colour actually. It's a beautiful natural mauve. Now from what I have seen about Gigi Hadid, her makeup, she really likes it to be quite natural, neutral, and it's all about, you know, making the most of her features. So I really, really like that, because you know, I like to wear bright eye colours, but I also like, I think makeup as well should enhance what you've got as well. That's just, you know, my opinion. And I'm just going to run that beautiful shade underneath. It's so, so pretty, that colour. Love that. Now I'm going to move on to the deeper colour, so the deeper brown, and I'm just putting a little bit on there because I don't know how this works. I'm now going to go in with that. I haven't used drugstore eye makeup, only Makeup Revolution for so long. I don't think, I mean, I can't remember the last time I purchased an eye palette. Now that, it's blending out very, very nicely. It's blending out really well. I think I'm going to leave it to that because what I don't want to do is cover all of that mauviness up. So I'm going to just do the other side. Really, really like that. It looks quite deep in the pan. I think you can build it up, but it is one of those brown shades that really blends very well. Now, really want to, I'm going to actually just run that underneath the eye halfway along. That is really, really nice. I always find that if you add a deeper shade just halfway along, and you've already put the lighter transitional shade all the way along, that deeper shade really works very well, and blends very nicely, which is done there. Now I'm going to add a tiny little bit of that black shade. I mean, looking at the swatch, it is a very, very, you know, good swatch there. If I, because I didn't actually swatch the black, but I swatched all of the other colours, and I can always, I know that we're not meant to tell what eyeshadow's like anymore from swatches. You know, we want to put it on our eyes and test it that way. But I do find that I can tell what an eyeshadow is going to be like actually on my, or how it's going to perform from swatches. And, you know, I saw that in the shop, in the store yesterday when I swatched it. Now I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of black right in the outer crease there, and just blend that. I don't want to blend it too much, but I want to just keep it there to add a little bit of depth and definition. And again, I'm going to do that on this side. It's worked very, very well. I'm just literally a tiny little bit of black, because you can go from 0 to 100 very, very quickly and ruin the whole look very, very easily. So I really, really like that. So that's the mattes. Now I'm going to add the shimmer shade onto the lid. See how that works. It's very, very soft, the shimmer shade, very, very soft. It feels like you're literally putting your finger into like baby powder. It's that soft. Very, very nice colour payoff. It doesn't feel, it just feels quite powdery, but you know, it's working very, very nicely. Now I'm going to, have I got my brush? I have. I'm just swapping now to this brush, which is the PS Pro Shading Eye Brush, again from Primark, and I'm just going to get that same champagne colour, just making sure that it's clean. Yeah, it is clean. And I'm just going all the way around the eye. Just to add that is so pretty. There we go. So that's that sorted. Now I'm just going to see if I can get this mascara out. My nails are quite short at the moment. Now, the mascara that I use at the moment is the Primark mascara. I can see here that what they've done is they've actually covered a mascara. That doesn't worry me at all. It would be nice if the mascara had have been the same colour as the, wow, I wanted to keep the packaging on so I could show you, but it may take me a little while to actually get into it. I really don't like all this packaging. I'm trying to go down where it's perforated, but it's not working very well. Ouch. Right, nearly there. It's quite tough, as you can tell. It's not coming off with ease. I might have to just, there we go. We're halfway there, and I'm not sure if I can get the whole thing off. Oh, can't even see the name of it. I'm not familiar with Maybelline mascaras. Like I say, I haven't bought from the drugstore for a while. Now it looks like it's called Colossal. There we go. There we go. I've done it. I've broke through. So it's called the Colossal Volume Express Mascara. I've never used this. I have no idea how it's going to work, but it's a mini, and I think that's why perhaps the palette is so thick, because this had to fit in there. But it looks a really nice brush, so I'm just going to add that. I don't know. It's going on very, very nicely. I like the fact that it's sealed. Like I say, it doesn't bother me that the mascara has the yellow. It would have been nice if it had the nude packaging followed all the way through, but that is very, very nice. The brush has captured all my lashes, which I have a problem with because they are quite long. There's lots of lashes and they're long and they always want to cross over. So that's worked really well. Now for the lip product, I'm going for the deepest one basically. I'm not too keen. I don't think they're going to be that great, but we'll see. We'll see. You can't tell until you try something. Actually, it's given me a nice Now I eat my words because actually this has given me a nice pink tint to my lip. Which I quite like, but it's not too bad. It's just I prefer Now that has surprised me. I eat my words on that. The only thing that I will say is that when you go into the palette, you can see there that you go over the edge. It's a shame that they weren't more like that with a little square around it, but never mind. I must admit, I have to definitely eat my words about this because that has given me a beautiful pink hue to my lip. It looks natural. It's not too gloopy, which I've had to put a few layers on to, you know, to get some opaqueness to the colour. So I'll just give you my final thoughts. What I will say is that the overall look of what I've done, I'm really pleased with. I love the eye look. I really, really like that. I love the lips and I love the cheeks as well. And I also am very, very surprised with the eye area. It's covered up any issues that I've had without being too thick. So actually, all in all, I've really, really enjoyed using this product. So I'd really, really love to hear your thoughts about this palette. What do you think? Have you got it and have you had similar results to me? Or is it that you're really not enjoying it? But to be honest, I mean, it's created a very, very nice, gorgeous look. Very, very impressed with that. I thought it was going to be that I was going to be telling you that I really, really disliked it. Like I say, I didn't think I was going to get it. I have seen a lot of reviews and I only look at things, videos, if I think that I'm not going to purchase, you know, products that I'm not going to get, basically. And I didn't think I was going to get this, so I did watch them. And I have seen some very, very negative things about it. But I've also seen some positive things, and I really, really enjoy this. I don't know what the wearability is going to be like on it. I can't see that the lip product is going to last a great deal of length, you know, a great deal of time. But, you know, it is an inexpensive palette for what you're getting. Actually, I think it is worth it. I've really enjoyed sharing that with you. So I hope that you found that helpful. And if you have, please do give me a thumbs up. Or, you know, if you've just enjoyed this and you're not going to purchase it, but obviously I'd really welcome your comments down below about this anyway. And if you are brand new to my channel, please do subscribe. But I do apologise for the length. I knew it was going to be a little while because I'm obviously sharing with you something brand new and trying it on. So apologies for that, but until tomorrow, thank you so, in fact, actually it won't be tomorrow, it will be Monday now. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Bye.